on Sports Saturday. We start the official countdown to football season. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah!
All right. We take a big bite out of the pigskin with Biscuit. How does he like the Tide?
They do have the potential.
Plus, a no-no brewing in the Windy City. Could Cole Hamels make history in Chicago?
Feels good.
To the track. Could Kyle Busch keep on streaking at Indy? We're going streaking! Yeah! We've got your recap, so buckle up and come along for the ride. We're loaded with sports. Can you guess how much we've got?
I don't even know.
That's 15 big minutes, Jimmy. Anybody else in town doing that much?
Well, that's not going to happen.
That's right. And it all starts right now. Hey, if you haven't been listening to Steve Spurrier lately, listen to this. He's not going anywhere. Days after his now infamous enemies press conference, he says he's not close to retirement. The head ball coach told a recruit this weekend that he'll be at South Carolina another 6 years. Now, if I'm doing the math right, Jen, Coach Spurrier would be 76. That's just 3 years younger than Bobby Bowden when he retired in 2009. So how about that?
He's in it for the long haul.
Was my math right?
That was correct. Good job.
70, okay. All right, welcome in, everybody, to Sports Saturday. I'm BJ Milliken.
And I'm Jen Chapman. We are inching closer and closer to the college football season. Tonight, we start our own Alabama-themed countdown. Kickoff against Wisconsin is 42 days away, so we celebrate tonight with Eddie Lacy, who wore number 42 for the Tide from 2009 to 2012. The Green Bay Packers star rushed for 30 touchdowns in his time in Tuscaloosa.
And the Packers' division rivals, the Minnesota Vikings, welcome back a familiar face on Saturday. Their estranged superstar, Adrian Peterson, who was suspended most of last year after child abuse charges. He was back on the eve of training camp. Now, Peterson says that he's ready in every way he can be.
My body feels great. Mentally, I'm stronger than I've been ever before. And I just got a different mindset when it comes to just life in general, and football too. So with that, I know that's going to make me a better player.
One guy who used to make running backs' lives a nightmare was former Crimson Tide and Buffalo Bills superstar Cornelius Bennett. Biscuit was in Montgomery earlier this week as a guest of the AHSAA. He took part in the summer conference, which discussed a variety of topics, including practice time and concussions. We'll have more on that from him tomorrow night. But he also had a lot to say about one unit for this year's Crimson Tide that's getting a lot of praise, the defensive front seven. He really likes what he's seen.
The job that the kids have done over the last since Coach Saban's been there, it's been tremendous. And he just keeps bringing them in. But this year, I think, when people look and say, oh, this is the best group ever, whatever, it's good. It's always good to have a team that you're comparing them against the best that, before those guys. So I think in itself, that's a great confidence builder for those kids. But you still have to go out and play on Saturdays. So, you give me a few weeks into the season and we'll start comparing. But they do have the potential. Now that can work both ways, They can live up to it, or they can live down to it. But I know Coach Saban, I know he'll have those kids ready to go.
Avery Johnson hopes to have his Alabama basketball team ready to go in the fall as well. High-profile games against teams like Oregon already have been announced.
That's right, but this week it was a lot of very familiar faces checking out the Tide. Coach Johnson welcomed back former Alabama players like Richard Hendricks, an NBA superstar, and the owner of 7 NBA championship rings, Robert Horry. The big man from Andalusia was very impressed at the work that the Crimson Tide's putting in and says fans are going to like it too.
I got excited. I want to get out there and play myself. When you play up-tempo basketball like that, it's exciting for the fans. It's exciting for the players. The one thing about it, you're going to be a well-conditioned team, and I hope the players are ready for that. Avery's going to get them in shape, and hope the fans will come out and support one of these teams that get up and down and not play that slow-down basketball, some fun basketball.
That Oregon game is set for Legacy Arena in Birmingham on December 21st. The rest of the basketball schedule will be announced at a later date.
A big part of the Atlanta Hawks playoff run, DeMarre Carroll. He was back in his hometown of Birmingham today. The big man is now a Toronto Raptor after signing a 4-year, $60 million deal last month. He says he's glad he came back to his alma mater, John Carroll High, to motivate the kids.
It's good. Just give them a little extra motivation, you know, because one day they can go to their high school, they can come back and get their jersey home. So my goal is just to, you know, to help these kids and to motivate these kids. You know, just let them know that hard work is a talent and you can be successful. You don't have to be the most talented person on your team, but if you work just as hard as the most talented person, you will be successful. You know, just to be able to come back in here and my junior year go 36-0 and my senior year only lose 3 or 4 games, it means a lot, man. So I'm just happy to be back in here. I think this is the first year I did this camp, and it's not going to be the last.
Well, good for DeMarre. He's doing some good things, and we're doing some good things, too. When we come back, what do we got?
That's right. We're taking you around the wide world of sports, including Kyle Busch, keeping that hot streak of his going, and bad news for my Cubbies. Cole Hamels and the Phillies did something that has not been done in 50 years to my woebegone franchise. How about that? Woebegone, that's a big word, right? We have the lowlights coming up after the break.
Solid outing last night in Arizona for former Alabama pitcher, current Brewers Jimmy Nelson. Number 52 threw 7 shutout innings, striking out 5 and walking 3. He also got a little help from his defense, turning a double play to end the threat in the 3rd inning. Brewers win 2-1. Nelson now 8-9 on the year and has a 3.97 ERA in 20 starts. That's pretty good, but maybe not quite as good as the pitching we saw in Chicago today, right?
That's right. Unfortunately, it was not Cubs starter Jake Arrieta, who was going for his 12th win on the year against the Phillies. Instead, it was Phillies pitcher Cole Hamels in what could be his final start in a Philadelphia uniform. Hamels was brilliant. The subject of trade rumors, well, he gave a little bit of help. Look at this. He was pitching brilliantly. Odubel Herrera in the 8th keeps a no-hitter intact later, flashes some glove work of his own. Here's a stat for you. The last time the Cubs was no-hit, 1965 by Sandy Koufax and the Dodgers. Chris Bryant, the last chance. Watch Herrera. Here's his name, pronunciation according to the internet.
Odubel Herrera.
There you go. He misjudged the ball, nearly costing Hamels, but he does it. The 50-year streak is over, and the Phils win 5-0. Odubel Herrera. The Braves were also locked in a pitching duel against the Cards. Shelby Miller pitched 7 innings of brilliant scoreless ball, but Stephen Piscotty, there's another good fun name to say, got to the Atlanta bullpen in the 8th. He gets the sac fly to score Pete Kozma. Cards up 1-0. Shelby Miller spits his gum out. He's mad. Braves had the tying run, though, at first in the 9th with A.J. Przinsky at the dish. Oh, it's that 6-4-3 twin killing Braves. Dropped their 3rd in a row, 1-0.
Hey, it was a picture-perfect day in Toronto for a 3rd round of the Canadian Open. Who better to lead the way than native David Hearn, who sinks the long birdie putt on the 7th hole to tie the lead at 13 under. And then on the very next hole, Hearn takes the lead with another birdie. Bubba Watson would be right behind him, though. He gets the eagle putt on the 13th. Watson tied with Jason Day for 2nd, 2 strokes back from Hearn, heading into the final round tomorrow. To the Gold Cup 3rd place match, Panama's Roberto Nurse cuts back and then finds the back of the net to put Panama up 1-0 over the U.S. That was the first goal of the game. 15 minutes later, America's DeAndre Yedlin controls it in the box and sends it to Clint Dempsey, who scores a tournament-high 7th goal. This one goes to PKs, and it all comes down to DeMarcus Beasley for the U.S., but Panama keeper Luis Mejia, with the big stop, secures the bronze medal for his team.
You're not first or last. Stage 20 of the Tour de France, the finale tomorrow, and it's looking good for this guy, Chris Froome. He won it. Did I say that right? Froome? Froome. No, it's not Odubel Herrera. He won it in 2013, and he's got the inside track to doing it again Sunday. He maintains a 2.5-minute lead over Nairo Quintana, another big name. He'll be the first Briton to win the Tour twice. He's locked that thing up. But twice, Jen, isn't anything if you're talking to Kyle Busch, who's been on a little bit of a hot streak, if no one's heard.
A little bit, yeah. Since breaking his ankle and foot at Daytona in February, he's raced in 13 races in both series and has won 5 times. Let's take a look at how the last 4 races have played out. Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and back to Kyle Busch. So today in Indy, did somebody say Kyle Busch? Because apparently you can't say Xfinity Series without Kyle Busch. And really, the race came down to Busch and Ryan Blaney. Busch led for more than half of the race, 53 of the 100 laps. Busch gets behind Blaney on the last lap and then made his move to get his 4th win in the last 5 Cup races.
That's pretty good, Jen. He hopes to keep his Sprint Cup streak going on Sunday. Qualifying held today for the big race tomorrow at the Brickyard. Tony Stewart ran very well. He always does there. But he wasn't fast enough to unseat Carl Edwards. Edwards takes the pole, the top speed of 183 miles an hour. Meanwhile, Jamie McMurray explains why this week has been a little bit unusual for the drivers.
We were able to unload close. In the first practice, I think we were 3rd or 4th right off the truck. And that is a big deal every single weekend, but it's a huge deal this weekend because we have somewhat of a limited amount of practice with a completely different package. And there's a lot of unknowns going into that. So the fact that you can start off on the right foot is critical in your weekend.
Now here's how they'll line up Sunday. Logano, Reagan, and Stewart behind Carl Edwards. If Kyle Busch is going to win yet again, he's in a pretty good starting position. He's going to start 9th tomorrow. Now we're coming back on Sports Saturday with a 5-year-old who will make you feel very insecure.
And maybe our dancing, our ode to National Dance Day. Stay with us. BJ's going to break it down.
I promise nothing.
We will be right back after this.
We're back on Sports Saturday with a 5-year-old who makes my jump shot look terrible. I mean, it looked terrible anyway. This is Josiah Brown from North Carolina. The little guy has been hooping it up since he was 3. Look at this guy go.
Since he was 3 and he's 5.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's been at it a long time. And he's caught the attention of a lot of people, including some NBA stars, Jen.
I mean, he's an all-around player. He's not just a little 5-year-old that's just going to score. He's going to pass the ball. He's going to score it, and I mean, he's all team player. He's up playing against 8, 9-year-olds. He's at the age of 5 and holding his own weight.
And really, everyone is pretty much saying the same thing. They have never seen a talent like this at the age of 5 years old.
Josiah, can you dunk?
No.
You can't dunk the basketball.
No.
Cannot dunk, but he's already rubbed shoulders. Listen to this. Listen to some of the guys he's known or met. LeBron, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. Not too bad.
And LeBron and Kobe was one of them too.
That's right.
So.
Oh, this is my line. Before we go, we cannot leave National Dance Day out of the picture without mentioning it.
So as we say goodnight, we'll show you some